What happened yesterday at the Olympics? The Spaniards, together with the French, scored 8 goals. An incredible tournament final. David De Gea is returning to football. The Spanish keeper has signed a contract with a legendary SerieA club. Instead of a starting spot at Manchester United, Matthijs de Ligt is facing jail time. The Bayern Munich defender fled the scene of a crime. Meanwhile, the England national team has announced the appointment of a new head coach. We are talking about this and much more today. This is a hot selection of the most interesting football news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and like this video to get more news about our favorite game. Your support is very important to us. Let's get started. The name of the new head coach of the England national team has been revealed. After the conclusion of the European Championship and the team's defeat in the final against Spain, Gareth Southgate has finally stepped down as the coach of the Three Lions. He spent 8 years in the England managerial role. Under his leadership, the team reached the Euro finals twice but never lifted the trophy. Despite having the most expensive squad in the history of the national team, with just his 5 attacking players worth over €500 million, Southgate played dull, dreadful football, trying not to take any risks at all. So, I personally sighed with relief when the coach announced his departure. Now, the entire football world is intrigued about who will be Southgate's successor with the England team. And yesterday, the name of the new head coach was revealed. According to the official FA website, the national team will be led by Lee Carsley. And you were probably expecting to hear names like Pep Guardiola, Mauricio Pochettino, or Jurgen Klopp. It's entirely possible that one of these coaches may eventually take charge of the English team. But temporarily, the head coach will be the 51-year-old Irishman. Carsley has led the U21 team for the past 3 years. Under his guidance, the English team won the U21 European Championship, and he fully deserves the chance to prove himself as the head of the senior team. However, the main coach is likely to be Mauricio Pochettino. The Argentine coach is currently in intense negotiations with the English FA, and the parties are close to finalizing a contract. But personally, I'm interested to see how Carsley will perform in the upcoming friendly matches. Luis de la Fuente also started with the youth team, and this year he led La Furia Roja to gold medals at the European Championship. Why should Carsley be any worse? Share your thoughts about the new coach in the comments. Barcelona is not lagging behind its competitors in the championship either. They finally announced the transfer of Dani Olmo. I came here to win, to fight for all possible titles. We are Barca, and we must fight for everything. We have a team, players, and coaching staff. We strive to win everything. I am very happy. This is a dream come true. I am very glad to return home, to my family, and to my national team teammates. I can't wait to start this journey. The negotiations were intense, but that's normal. Everything happened very quickly with Leipzig, and I am very grateful to them as well. Now a new chapter begins. It's also important to emphasize Barca's persistence in wanting to bring me here, and that deserves appreciation. I am proud that they want me, and I am proud to be here. I have already played with many Barca players. I'm looking forward to meeting others, like Frankie or Lewandowski, top-level players. I am ready and eager to contribute and win, Olmo said. The player has signed a 6-year contract. A clause of €500 million was immediately included in his contract. This is already, in a way, a classic story for the Spanish Giants. The transfer itself cost the Blaugrana $55 million. Additionally, the agreement includes bonuses of another $7 million, which Leipzig could receive. What exactly they will be awarded for is unknown, but the press reports that most of these bonuses are hard to achieve, and there's little sense in counting on them. Well, congratulations to Barcelona fans on a great signing. You and we have been waiting for it for a long time. Also, it's worth noting that Laporta has not given up hope of acquiring Nico Williams as well. It is said that he has taken this transfer under his control and all that. So who knows, we might see him this summer too. There are still 3 weeks left until the summer transfer window closes, so there's plenty of time. Meanwhile, let's move on to the next block of news. Don't switch channels, there's a lot of interesting stuff ahead. Matthijs de Ligt was involved in a car accident and then fled the scene, now facing up to 3 years in prison. The Dutch defender is supposed to finalize his transfer to Manchester United in the coming days, but recent events in his life may hinder the move. The accident occurred after a recent training session with Bayern Munich. De Ligt was leaving a parking spot at the Munich club's base, but made a poor maneuver and rammed into a nearby parked car. The footballer didn't pay much attention to the collision with an ordinary person and drove away. However, the owner of the damaged car wasn't pleased with this autograph from the player. He called the police, who quickly identified the culprit and detained him. According to the Bild portal, a protocol was issued against the Bayern defender. Germany has rather strict laws regarding such offenses. The article mentions that leaving the scene of an accident could result in up to 3 years in prison. However, the source notes that this outcome is unlikely. Most likely, the player will receive a hefty fine by ordinary standards, be forced to compensate the victim, and be let go. But since the final verdict on this matter is still unknown, anything could happen. As for the transfer saga regarding his move to Manchester United, there's no news at the moment. It's possible that MU representatives have put the defender's transfer on hold until he resolves all his issues with the German police. But if the worst-case scenario doesn't materialize, negotiations will continue. Currently, it is known that Bayern is not happy with the Red Devils' low offer. They're offering only 40 million, while the Munich side wants 1.5 times more. However, De Ligt is not needed by Bayern's new head coach, and the parties will likely reach a compromise. The highest-scoring final in the history of the Olympic Games. France and Spain put on an incredible show at the French home stadium. The teams delighted the fans not only with the abundance of goals, but also with the high level of play. They literally raced across the field, constantly creating pressure on each other's goals. The first goal was seen by the fans as early as the 11th minute. In that episode, Spain's goalkeeper Artem Dovbyk made an unfortunate play, letting the ball slip into the near corner. However, the Spaniards quickly responded. The standout was probably Spain's best player in this tournament, Fermín López. But we must also credit his Barcelona teammates, who helped Fermín score twice against France. Then, Alex Baena made the score embarrassing for the tournament hosts with a magnificent free kick. However, in the second half, France completely seized the initiative. If not for the brilliant play of Arnaud Tenas, the French could have equalized by the 60th minute. The goalkeeper was on fire, saving his team in the most difficult situations. But even his efforts couldn't help Spain maintain their lead. The Reds looked too passive in the second half. The match went into extra time, where, in my opinion, the most exciting moments occurred. France fiercely pressured Spain's defense, giving them no respite. But as the famous football rule goes, if you don't score, they'll score on you. Spain took the lead in extra time. After the goal, the Spaniards focused on defense, doing everything they could to hold on to the score. And they were succeeding. But in the final seconds, something incredible happened. After yet another French attack, Arnaud Tenas caught the ball in his penalty area and threw it to the only Spanish player near the center circle. The ball flew over all the French defenders, and Sergio Camelo easily outplayed the goalkeeper, setting the score at 5-3. The fate of the gold medals was sealed. Spain's youth team repeated the triumph of their senior teammates and, for the first time since the late last century, became the Olympic champions. Congratulations to them. David De Gea has finally returned to big-time football. The Spaniards' new team is Fiorentina. He joined the Violas on a free transfer, as he was a free agent. Currently, he has signed a 1-year contract with an option to extend for another year, apparently depending on how well he performs with the team. It's also reported that his salary will increase with each new season, following a similar financial ladder to Robert Lewandowski's at Barcelona. In the first year, De Gea will receive one amount, more in the second, and so on. Honestly, we've been waiting a long time for the Spaniards' return. We were beginning to wonder if he had decided to retire, but De Gea is back just in time. Of course, he could have found a more high-profile team, with all due respect to Fiorentina. However, considering the short-term nature of his contract, it's possible that David could be in another SerieA club within a year. He's 33 years old, which for a goalkeeper, especially in Italy, is not that old. So it's quite likely that Fiorentina won't be his last club. In any case, we are very happy that he's back and wish him all the best. And we'll stay in Italy for a little longer. Artem Dovbyk, who has just become a Roma player, decided to speak to the press and explained why he turned down a transfer to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid? It's not because of our relationships, but they weren't the best. There were people who wanted to see me in the club and others who didn't. I didn't feel the trust, unlike at Roma, Dovbyk told Atletico Universe. Earlier, his agent stated that Atletico offered too little money, and overall it wasn't a serious project for Artem. That's how it sounded back then. Who to believe, Dovbyk himself or his agent, is of course up to you.